Welcome to this glorious Sunday morning on Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot. On today's show, I speak with a local teacher about his most valuable educator award. Plus, I show you how to make Christmas cherry bombs. I hope you have your reservations this morning because you can have breakfast with Santa at the Montage Deer Valley. If you do not have those reservations, you still have 2 more opportunities on December 17th and the 23rd. Children ages 3 to 14 get to decorate their own gingerbread houses. You have a delicious brunch and treats galore. Now, in the meantime, let's take a look at today's local weather.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to the show. I love how we support our community here in Utah and beyond. I have a conversation with a recipient of the Most Valuable Educator Award, Joel Newberg. Let's take a look. Welcome back to the show. Now, I'm so excited about this next discussion because the Utah Jazz, which you know is an incredible NBA team, has partnered with the EdTech company Instructure to award the Most Valuable Educator Award. This is their 3rd year in the running, and I am talking with one of the excellent recipients of this award, Joel Newberg. Joel, how are you this morning?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm so great. I love the idea of a Most Valuable Educator Award. I think it really kind of brings back a coolness of being a teacher and, you know, nominating the right people to really influence our community and our children. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You are one of the recipients. So what do you teach? Tell me all about it.
Yeah. So I teach 6th grade English and social studies. I've been teaching for like 10 years. I originally graduated in Wisconsin. I used to teach high school. And then my cousin actually worked out here. She kind of hooked me up with an interview. And then I've been teaching out here for 6 years. And man, I never want to leave. It's so beautiful out here.
Yeah, Utah is pretty incredible. It's a best kept secret. So we try to keep it as quiet as possible. But I think
it doesn't seem like it anymore, though. It seems like there's so many people here now.
It really doesn't.
I'm part of the problem. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So you teach English and social studies. Tell me a little bit about that. How did you decide that you wanted to teach both subjects? And then on top of that, what's your passion?
Yeah. So, well, my dad was really into like World War II history. So I was brought up on that. In Wisconsin, there's an air venture show called the EAA. It's like the largest like air show in the world. So like every year we'd go to that. I was always brought up with like a love of history and a passion for American history too. But it was really like all history because it's really just a series of stories that history is. It's kind of funny. So like I actually really never liked English that much. But to get this job here, I had to take a certification in order to get it. But what's really cool, so we're an IB school. I work at Champion Hall School in Draper. It's an international baccalaureate school. We also just got our STEM designation too, so we're pretty high tech over here. So what's kind of cool about it, so it's individuals and societies is history, and it's languages and literature is English. And so because I get to teach both subjects, I get to intertwine both topics. So like we start at the very beginning of human history with world cultures, or individuals and societies, sorry. And then with languages and literature, we kind of start with like the very first stories written. So right now we're going through epics. We're going through the first, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is a Sumerian, like the first superhero story. So it's really cool to kind of like, we go through the hero cycle, how stories are written. And it's kind of cool to see like even 5,000 years ago, stories can be super comparable and really similar to like Superman or Spider-Man today, like kids are really interested in. So right now the kids are just preparing their own hero stories. And it's really cool to see like what they're coming up with. Yeah. So it's kind of when you're going through school, I was trying to like pick the subject I liked the most, or at least like hated the least, and then see what I could do. My parents had always said like, don't worry about money. You have to find something that you're passionate about, something that you are okay going to and doing every single day. And I always just really, really liked history. And it was gonna be between like going into business and like doing sales or something like that. And I took one course in college and I was like, no, not for me. I don't want to do all this math. I don't want to be selling all the time or worrying about meeting and whatever. I also really like summer vacation. I didn't want to let go of that too. So a little bit of that had something to do with it. But I also really like dealing with kids. I like making kids laugh. I like making them happy. I have a lot of patience for kids. And like when I started working in just retail or other places, I had very little patience for adults that were older than me, but then would do like kind of dumb things. And I found that, I had a very short fuse with that. But then with kids, it's like, okay, you're small, you have time to grow. Like you can make mistakes. It's totally okay.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I hate to pause you, Joel. My mic died right in the middle of that. So I'm going to ask that question again. And then if you want to just tell me all of that again, that'd be great.
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Now, Joel, tell me, how did you fall into teaching? Have you always had a passion for it, or was it just kind of a happenstance career that you stumbled upon?
Yeah, so it was kind of funny, like going into it, I tried to pick like the subject I hated the least and see what kind of career I could go with that. My parents had always said to just find a career that you don't mind going to every single day, that you actually would enjoy, that you're not going to get sick of. So it was either going to be between like sales, because I like talking to people, I like interacting with people. But I took one business course in college and I absolutely did not like it. It was too much math, too much like selling. So I decided I really like dealing with kids. I like making people laugh. Kids are so small too, and like they have so much, they can make mistakes, and I really don't mind. It's like, you have time to grow. You have time to not be an idiot in the future, So I don't know what it is, but I have so much more patience and compassion with kids than I do for adults. Still like adults, but kids are much more easy to deal with in my mind.
Well, it's so interesting to kind of see the light bulb that goes off when you're teaching them something, or they're in their stages of development, whereas adults are a little bit different, a little more polished, more calculated. I understand that, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about Utah Jazz. So they're featuring all of the recipients at their games. So do you have a game that you've either been honored already or are coming up to being honored at?
Yeah, it was so cool. This was like such an amazing experience, and a shout out to Instructure and for the Utah Jazz for making this possible. So it was I did already go to the game. It was November 25th against the Pelicans. It was like in the first quarter, the second time out, they brought me onto the court. They gave me like a personalized jersey. Well, and before that too, it was really cool. They brought the Jazz Bear out to our school, and so like they came into the cafeteria when all like the middle schools having lunch, and like the Jazz Bear is such a character himself. Whoever that guy is peak. He's really good at his job. Like he got all the kids riled up. They had a really good time. They showed like a montage video at the game. So it hyped up the school. It got a little recognition for our school, Channing Hall International Baccalaureate School in Draper. Going to plug that one more time. But yeah, so it was just such a fun experience. We got to, so not only was I honored on the court, then we also got box seats. I got to take 5 of my friends, including my wife. It was a stellar time. It was truly a once in a lifetime experience.
That's great. I have a question. Did you stand on the free throw line and did you hit the buckets?
No, they didn't allow me to do that. I almost ran out and stole the ball and tried to hit a half-court shot, but I think the Jazz Bear might have tackled me.
That would have been a blast. Now, how do you, what's your plan for the rest of the year? Because we're right in the middle of the school year, about to hit winter break. How do you keep the kids engaged, and what are you planning and hoping as you see these kids move on to the next grade?
Yeah, good question. Right now, it's all about survival. I'm just kidding. But no, so right now, I always just have we have more units, more things going. We just got our STEM designation. I think I mentioned that before. So I'm trying to do a lot more hands-on projects. So right now I mentioned we were in my English class, we're doing languages and literature. We're doing Sumeria, the first stories. And then in history class, we're also studying that culture. So right now we're about to get into cuneiform, which is the kind of script writing. So I'm going to get some clay out. They're going to have styluses. They're going to try to make up their own language and then write in a coded thing so they can kind of see the pros and cons of writing that way. Because it's different than our language. It's not just letters. Like A is, you combine letters to make words. Their language started from symbols and then slowly kind of developed more to that, or more into a language-based system. So that'll be pretty cool to see. Just the other week, we did a project on trying to make baskets, like a hunter-gatherers. So they had paper and glue. They had to make a basket that could hold enough weight. And man, they surprised the heck out of me because I had all these weights in here and they were building baskets that could hold I don't know, 300 grams of, I had to go to the science room and start rating all the equipment that they had to try to like see what, like, when are your baskets going to break? I thought they would break immediately. So
Oh,
they're surprising me.
I love that you have so many creative ways to educate your students on English and also on social studies and history. And just like you said, it's telling stories about where we came from and who we are. And I love that. So congratulations on being a recipient of Utah's Most Valuable Educator Award. Very exciting stuff. I know there were thousands of applicants and only 17 people picked. So excited to see what you do as you continue to shape the minds of our community.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, and just real quick, if you guys want to nominate a teacher that your kids really like, you go to nba.com/jazz/MVE. I got to tell you, it was a wonderful experience to be nominated. I had no idea it was coming. So it was like, it's filled me with such joy. And especially around the holiday season, if your student has a teacher they really like, either send them a thank you note or nominate them too. It can mean the world to them.
Well, Joel, congratulations. Thank you for that plug there. And what a really cool way to honor the people that are in your children's lives. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now stay tuned. We've got a bit more here on the show. We'll be right back after this. It's the festive spirit. I hope you are ready to make some more delicious treats for all of your holiday festivities. Let's take a look at this cherry bomb recipe that I show you how to make. Welcome back to the show. Now, Julio and I love getting in the kitchen on both Conexión Latina and Good Morning Vail, and I'm so excited about this partnership because we are making some fun Christmas cherry bombs, which are a delicious little treat if you're having a holiday party. We're going to give them away as gifts.
It looks very exciting, Kim. Thank you for inviting me. Like you said, we're always, both of us, doing stuff in the kitchen, so being able to do something together is very fun. And all the ingredients look nice and festive with the sprinkles, the cherries, so I'm excited.
Who doesn't love glitter and sparkles
Right, exactly.
and bright colors at the holiday season?
Exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's super simple. You need sprinkles,
Yes.
you need maraschino cherries,
Okay.
and then white chocolate, and you want to melt it. So the hardest part, I would say, is the white chocolate and how to melt it. White chocolate is a very delicate ingredient.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that you are either double boiling it or you're like microblasting it in the microwave at like 10-second increments because it has properties that allow it to separate if you're not monitoring the heat.
I have had some experience that.
So you know all about it, right? So we have a double boiler action going on here, and it's pretty simple. You just put a, you either do like glass, you just don't want the chocolate to be on the direct heat surface.
Right.
So we've got it set to about medium low.
Okay.
We have about 2 inches of water in our pot. And we're just gonna simply pour the chocolate in here.
Just kind of eyeball it.
Eyeball it, you know, we're making, it depends on how many, right?
Yes.
You know, this is a really great Christmas treat and you can give it away as gifts. So if you're making like a whole jar of cherries, we've got probably about a half a jar here. You just kind of eye it and decide what you wanna do. I would recommend, and this is not a brand plug, but I prefer the Nestle chocolates.
Yes,
white
you were saying
chocolate, regular chocolate.
They're easier to melt.
Easier to melt, much better than some of the higher end brands.
Okay.
But we're just kind of letting it melt here a little bit. It's gonna take a minute, so we'll just stir it. You just want to make sure. Now, if you have a bowl that fits your pot, it won't be bouncing all over the place.
Yes.
But you know, right now you can see the chocolate starting to melt.
I do see that it's kind of already kind of starting to melt.
So if you've got something like that, you can always just use an additional, just to make sure that
Some
it stays
stability.
in place. Yeah, we're just going to keep melting it, keep going. But in front of us, we have
Yes, we've got all the ingredients, and it seems very easy. Don't need lots of ingredients, Kim.
You don't.
Most of us have sprinkles at home, so we can just kind of use them. So we've got, as Kim mentioned, we've got some of our cherries here. We've got sprinkles. Today, Kim and I decided to go with a couple different variations.
Yeah.
We've got the red and green for some of that holiday spirit, as you can see there. Just kind of make some red and green sprinkles.
Yep.
We're doing blue. I think that's kind of giving winter vibes.
It is,
right, with the blue.
Blue for, you know, Hanukkah, winter,
Yes.
New Year's, winter, you know, it's just
And
great.
then we're kind of going a little crazy here with all the rainbow sprinkles just for some added fun.
Added fun, you know, it gives a little bit of texture and variety in your cherries.
Yes.
So we're just kind of monitoring this chocolate. We're like
Okay.
letting it melt. One of the things that you can do with white chocolate is add some coconut oil to it.
Okay.
And it kind of helps meld everything together. But we're just going to turn the heat up a little bit more in the essence of time, so it melts a little bit
that'll kind of
faster
help
here.
us melt a little faster.
And we're watching it. We'll stir it a little bit, making sure that it doesn't burn.
All right.
But you know, you just want to make sure that you got everything set up. So I would typically recommend a maraschino cherry
Okay.
with a stem.
Yes,
Makes
ours
sense.
don't have stems
Ours
today.
don't have stems today, but that's okay because you can use a toothpick or just simply a fork and
Yes.
spoon. And it's really easy Christmas thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any fun Christmas traditions or things?
Not traditions, but I was going to say I have a holiday party I'm going to this weekend. So I
Okay.
think that you're already giving me ideas on what to bring because we're all bringing, a little treat or something to share. So I think I might be making this for this weekend.
Absolutely, and it's a great one to make. Now,
Yeah.
if you're going to a holiday party and it's adults,
I was gonna say,
adults
yep.
only, you can turn it up a notch. And I would recommend soaking your cherries in a vanilla vodka or a flavored vodka overnight. Something that pairs well with the cherry flavor.
Absolutely.
You just soak it in there, so it's a fun little,
just take it up a notch.
fun little treat, a
Yes.
flavor bomb in your mouth.
And it'll be a surprise for the guests too.
It will. You have to warn them, check their IDs, make sure they're
Exactly.
21 and above.
Yes.
But we're just making sure this chocolate is melting. It's slowly starting to melt here. So
Okay.
one of the tricks that you can do, coconut oil is a good one. And I don't want to get chocolate all over the place, so I'll set these here. But one of the things that you can do is add a little bit of water to the chocolate itself, or oil. Oil's usually best, but what it'll do is it'll add a little bit more, I guess you could say like liquid,
Yes.
so it's consistent. It just
It'll
gives
make it a little bit easier to work with too.
and a nice light coating. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So you've got this Christmas party.
Yes.
You might be making these cherry bombs.
Yes.
What other ideas did you have in mind?
Well, I don't know. I think we are also doing a white elephant, so that's always fun.
That's a great one.
I think that's kind of a family and friend tradition at my house. And today we usually do, like regular gifts that people will actually use and enjoy. But today we're going with a more traditional, funny white elephant gift. So I'm still brainstorming some ideas on what to bring to make it, funny. And
I love a good white elephant. Now, as you can see, the water is heating up a little bit more, so we're
Yes.
gonna drop that temperature down, but it's made our white chocolate really melt, and especially with that extra added water, because we just want it to be nice and, I'd say not super thick, because you want to dip it just a light coating
Yes.
on those cherries here.
Perfect.
So we're almost there. We're getting ready to dip it. Once you dip it, that's the fun part. You just kind of keep rolling until you
And
decide
then it
you've
goes
got
fast
enough.
from there, yeah.
It
And
does.
it's starting to smell good. But you can kind of start to smell that white chocolate in the kitchen, and
I
it's
think,
starting to come together.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. What do you think? You think
We're
we should go
looking
ahead and give it
ready.
a shot and try?
You can give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot. We've got
Roll the sleeves up.
get those sleeves nice and rolled up. Chocolate's nice and melted. We're gonna make sure to get it out of this whisk so that we have as much chocolate
For our
as possible.
cherries. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna do the dipping, and you
Give
can
you a
do
fork.
the rolling.
I will do that. I'll
And
move
we'll
these
see
out of the
what
way.
we decide to do and what kind of fun combinations
Okay.
we're going. So you literally just need to dip it just a little bit, and of course I dropped it in here. Oh, there we go. That's why it's much easier to do this with cherries that have
A stem
a
on.
stem. But you just do a quick little twist. All right. Let's see how this looks. You can just kind of roll it up the side here. And it
It'll
really
kinda
doesn't have to be
grab.
perfect. You
As
just-
long as we've got some chocolate on there,
Yeah.
that'll give us something for our sprinkles to stick on. I'm gonna go right into the festive green and red here. I'm just gonna kind of roll. Am I doing this right,
You're
Kim?
doing it right. It looks great
Just
to me. I
kinda-
don't think there's a wrong way to do this.
Right. Just kind of roll it in there. I've got that sprinkles on there. Hope you can see that on camera. And then I'm just gonna.
So it's trial and error. I think we like the festive
the
colors,
first one,
but
yes.
I think definitely cherries with stems, much easier way to do this. So
There
you
you go.
poke it. We're gonna do two at
Two
a
at
time.
a time.
Two at a time.
Let's just do it.
And just dip it in there into that white chocolate. And it really doesn't matter what the chocolate looks like, because you want to make sure. Here, I'll do a switch with you. Give that one to you.
You're
You
going
want
to
to
the
make sure that
blue
you've got
now.
enough sprinkles or enough chocolate on it so that it covers the sprinkles to your liking.
Oh, this blue is such a nice color too.
I love the contrast of the blue against
And
the
the
red.
red.
It's just really beautiful.
We've got that one with the blue sprinkles there.
There we go. Do a little fork
Trade.
switch with you.
And I'm just gonna go into the rainbow ones because I feel like these are the most colorful and fun.
Yeah, it's really like, what's the theme of your party? If you're doing a holiday party and you've got a specific color theme, or if it's just fun, you just want it to be exciting, it's where you would
Yes.
use the rainbow colors,
We're actually doing ugly Christmas, so I feel like the rainbow, ugly Christmas sweater, sorry.
That would be perfect.
The rainbow ones kind of gives it that funky,
You're right.
groovy holiday
I
spirit.
think we're in a groove now, speaking of.
Yes. I'm gonna try to actually do maybe like a half and half situation.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
See if that'll work.
And you can serve these, I would recommend after they've kind of set a little bit, popping them back into the fridge or the freezer because it allows everything to kind of like set together.
Yeah,
I would give it
especially
at least a couple of hours before you decide to serve them. So if you're making them, these are a great make-ahead treat.
Yes.
You definitely do it that way.
Have these ready to go and just pull them out of the fridge when your guests come over.
Just start passing them around.
And you'll be ready.
Who doesn't love a delicious little treat to kick off the party?
All right.
All right, we're just going to keep on going here. But really, it's super simple, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You just really need to make sure that you monitor your chocolate. Once you've kind of let it melt, which we could let this melt a little bit more, but once it's started to melt, you want to make sure that that heat is lower.
Okay.
And
keep it on a low heat.
Keep it on a low heat. So
Perfect.
max you want to do is medium, and make sure that white chocolate does not hit the direct source of heat.
Okay.
That's the most important
Yes.
piece.
That's a very important tip.
Yeah, it's definitely a big one. So we're looking pretty good. I think out of the colors, which one's your favorite?
I like the blue just because of how bright it is.
Yeah, I
and
think
that contrast with the red cherries, like you mentioned.
It's giving Elsa and Anna vibes.
Yeah.
You've got red for Anna, you've got the blue for Elsa.
We're in that winter.
We are in that winter wonderland, especially here in the Vail Valley.
Copy that.
But it's
all right.
We're having a blast. So I think we're crushing it.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep going.
We're just gonna keep going. But in the meantime, save this recipe. 3 ingredients, 4 if you include the vodka.
Yep.
Very easy. But Christmas cherry bombs. Thank you for joining me, Julio.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Blast having you in the kitchen.
I've got a treat for my holiday party.
Absolutely.
Right.
Just stick a toothpick in it, put it in the fridge, let it set for a couple hours, and you're good to go.
We're good to go. Thank you,
Awesome.
Ken.
Now stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Thanks for joining us on this Sunday morning. I hope you have those reservations for Brunch with Santa at the Montage Deer Valley. If not, sign up now for December 17th or the 23rd. There is very limited availability. It's such a fun, festive event. Plus, I hope you enjoyed that Christmas cherry bombs recipe and the conversation I had with Joel Newberg. Anyways, I'm your host, Kimberly Pro. It's been a pleasure spending this morning with you, and I'll see you around.